The dead moon hung in silence at the edge of known space. Its surface was cracked and gray, covered in dust that had not moved for 1,000,000 years. Deep inside one of the largest craters, a hidden door opened for the first time in ages. Light spilled out from within, weak and blue, like the glow of a forgotten star. 3 alien species had come together for this moment. The Vexari were tall and made of living crystal. Their bodies shimmered with inner light, and their voices sounded like breaking glass. The Zorath moved as one mind in many small bodies, insect-like and quick. The Krell stood like walking mountains, their skin thick as stone armor, their steps shaking the ground. They called themselves the Coalition of Ascended. For centuries they had conquered worlds, taken resources, and left broken species behind. Now they searched old ruins for secrets that would make them even stronger. Inside the archive, rows of black stone tablets floated in zero gravity. Each tablet held the last words of a dead civilization. The aliens moved from one to the next, their translators humming as they read. One tablet after another told the same strange story. We grew strong. We reached the stars. Then we met them. We are gone now. Do not wake the sleepers. Another said, their world is blue and green. It looks weak. It is not. They pretend to sleep. Do not disturb their rest. A third was short and cold. Earth only pretends to sleep. We learned too late. You will too. A Vexari leader, whose name came out as Vexthal in human sounds, laughed. The sound echoed like glass cracking on stone. Primitives, he said, always the same fear of the unknown, a myth to scare their children. The Zorath Queen Mind clicked in agreement. Thousands of small voices spoke as one. No species matches our power. These warnings are old lies. The Krell war chief grunted, let us find this earth. If it sleeps, we will take its riches while it dreams. They searched the archive for more. Thousands of tablets, thousands of warnings. All pointed to one place. A small blue-green world in a quiet arm of the galaxy. A world called Earth. The Coalition decided quickly. They would send a scout fleet. Not a full armada yet. Just enough ships to look, measure, and claim. If the planet had anything worth taking, they would come back in force. Weeks later, the scout fleet arrived at the edge of the Sol system. 20 sleek ships, black and sharp, slipped past the outer planets without a sound. They watched from high orbit. Below them was Earth. Cities glowed at night like rivers of light. Oceans covered most of the surface. Small metal objects moved in low orbit. Satellites, old space stations, a few clumsy shuttles going to the moon. The people on the planet argued on their screens, built tall towers, planted fields, laughed, cried, and lived ordinary lives. The aliens watched for days. They saw no great weapons in space, no planet-killing ships, no shields around the world, just a noisy species of soft-skinned primates who still used chemical rockets. Vexthal stood on the bridge of the flagship. His crystal body flashed with amusement. They are children playing with fire. We will take this world. Its metals, its water, its air, all ours. The Zorath voices agreed. Resources confirmed. Resistance level, minimal. The Krell war chief flexed his huge hands. I want to walk on their soil, feel their bones break. They sent the message. A signal beamed down to every radio, every screen, every device on Earth. The voice was calm and cold, translated into every human language at once. This is the Coalition of Ascended. Your world now belongs to us. Prepare for occupation. Do not resist. Resistance brings death. On Earth, people stopped. Cars pulled over. Workers looked up from their desks. Children pointed at televisions. For a few minutes, the world went quiet. In Seoul, South Korea, a small apartment sat on the 20th floor of an old building. Kim Ji-hoon lived there alone. He was 34, thin, with tired eyes and messy black hair. By day, he worked as an astronomer at a university observatory. By night, he pointed his own small telescope at the stars from his balcony. That evening, he had been watching a faint comet when the alert came. His computer screen flashed red. Unknown objects in high orbit. Not human. Too many. Too fast. Ji-hoon froze for a second. Then he ran to his phone and called his friend and colleague, Park Soo-min. Soo-min answered on the first ring. Ji-hoon, you see it too? Yes, he said. His voice was calm, but his hand shook a little. They are talking. It's in perfect Korean. And English. And everything else. Soo-min was already at her office, encased. She worked in xenolinguistics, studying signals that might come from space. For years people laughed at her field. Now no one was laughing. I translated the full message, she said. They say the planet is theirs now. They want us to surrender. Ji-hoon looked out his window. The city lights stretched below like a sea of stars. Cars moved. People walked. Life went on, even now. They think we are weak, he said quietly. Soo-min laughed, but there was no joy in it. They read the old warnings. They ignored them, just like the others. Ji-hoon walked back to his telescope. He adjusted the lens and looked up. There in the dark between stars, he saw faint glints, alien ships reflecting sunlight. For a long moment he said nothing. Then he spoke, almost to himself. They think we sleep. Soo-min's voice came soft through the phone. We do sleep. On purpose. Ji-hoon nodded, even though she could not see him. Then maybe it's time to stop pretending. He turned away from the window. In the corner of his room sat a locked metal box. He had not opened it in 10 years. Inside were papers, codes, and a single red phone that connected to places no one talked about. Ji-hoon knelt and opened the box. Soo-min spoke again. I'm sending the signal to the others. Minsuk, Hayan, Taewoo. They will know what to do. Ji-hoon lifted the red phone. His finger hovered over the button. Outside, the city continued. People ate dinner. Students studied. Old men played chess in parks. The world looked peaceful, normal. But under the surface, something old and patient began to stir. Ji-hoon pressed the button. Somewhere, deep below Seoul, lights turned on in rooms that had stayed dark for decades. The alien fleet waited above Earth, like hunters around a sleeping animal. 20 ships hung in perfect formation, their weapons charged and ready. Vexthal stood on the bridge of the flagship, his crystal skin glowing brighter with confidence. The message had been sent. No answer came back for 3 full hours. The aliens thought the humans were too afraid to reply. Then the reply arrived. It came on every frequency at once. Clear, calm, in perfect galactic standard. The language the coalition used across the stars. A single sentence. You were warned. No pleas, no offers of surrender. Just those 3 words. Vexthal's laugh cracked like ice. Brave words from a weak world. Send the landing ships. Take their cities. Show them who rules now. The fleet moved. 10 large transports dropped toward the planet. Each carried thousands of troops. Vexari sharpshooters. Zorath swarms, Krell heavy infantry. They aimed for the biggest cities first. New York, Beijing, Tokyo, Mumbai, Seoul. High above Seoul, hidden in plain sight, a weather satellite blinked. It was not a weather satellite. Inside its shell sat powerful sensors and a railgun that could punch through steel from orbit. The gun powered up silently. In an underground command center beneath Daejeon, lights came on one by one. Kim Ji-hoon stood in the center of the room. Screens covered the walls, showing live feeds from around the world. Park Soo-min sat at a console, fingers flying over keys. She wore the same clothes from yesterday, jeans and a plain sweater. No time to change. Transports entering atmosphere, Soo-min said. They are splitting up. 5 heading for Asia. Ji-hoon nodded. Activate Phase 1. No big show yet. Just enough to make them think twice. Su-min pressed a button. Around the world, things began to happen. In the South China Sea, fishing boats suddenly changed course. They were not fishing boats. Their hulls opened. Small drones rose into the air. Hundreds of them, fast and quiet. They flew toward the descending transports like angry bees. Over the Atlantic, old cargo planes took off from hidden runways in Greenland. They carried no cargo. Under their wings hung missiles that used engines stolen from alien wrecks years ago. In the empty deserts of Australia, silos opened under the sand. Thin tubes rose. They pointed straight up. The first transport ship reached low orbit over Seoul. It was huge, shaped like a black arrow. Inside, Krell's soldiers checked their weapons. They expected fear. They expected screams. Instead, the sky lit up. A streak of white fire came from nowhere. It hit the transport's engine section. The ship lurched. Alarms screamed inside. The Krell tried to turn, but another streak followed. And another. Railgun rounds from disguised platforms in Korea, Japan, and China. Each hit was perfect. No waste. The transport broke apart in a silent fireball. Pieces rained down over the Yellow Sea. Most burned up before they hit water. Vexthal stared at the screens on his bridge. Impossible, he whispered. Another transport over India met the same fate. Drones swarmed it. Tiny explosives attached to weak points. The ship split open like a cracked egg. Zorath bodies spilled into space, still twitching. The coalition fleet pulled back a little. They had lost 4 transports in minutes. Thousands of troops gone. No warning, no fight on the ground. Just sudden death from above and below. On the flagship, the Zorath Queen Mind spoke in many voices. They have weapons we did not see. Hidden, patient. Vexthal turned to his officers. Full attack. Do not hold back. Burn their cities if you must. But before the order could go out, a new signal came from Earth. This time, it was video. The screen showed an empty room. Then a woman stepped into view. Captain Lee Ha-yun. She was 32, short black hair, calm eyes. She wore a simple gray uniform with no rank marks. Behind her stood the bridge of a ship that looked old, almost like a museum piece. Ha-yun's voice was steady. This is the Seoul Dawn. We have watched you for a long time. We know your ships. We know your weapons. We know your pride. She paused. You came to take what is not yours. You ignored the warnings carved by those who came before you. Now you pay the price. The video switched to outside views. The Seoul Dawn moved. It was not fast at first. Then its engines flared blue-white. The ship accelerated hard, faster than any coalition ship could match. It aimed straight for the Vexari dreadnought next to the flagship. Vexthal shouted, "Fire! All weapons!" Plasma lances shot out, beams of green fire. The Seoul Dawn twisted in ways no ship should twist. It rolled, spun, dodged. Human pilots had trained for this, years in simulators, using tricks aliens never thought of. One beam grazed the human ship. Armor plates glowed red, but held. The Seoul Dawn kept coming. At the last second, it fired nothing. No missiles, no lasers. It simply rammed. The impact was silent in space, but terrible. The dreadnought's crystal hull shattered like broken glass. Internal systems exploded in chain reactions. The ship folded in on itself. The Seoul Dawn pulled away, damaged but alive. Its hull smoked, but it still moved. Vexthal's bridge went quiet. His crystal body dimmed for the first time. Below, in the Daejeon Command Center, Ji-hoon watched the feed. "One down," he said. Su-min looked up from her screen. "They are angry now. They will come harder." Ji-hoon nodded. "Good. Let them come." He turned to another screen. It showed old files from the archive. Warnings from dead species, one after another. A squid-like race. They fight dirty. They use your own fear against you. A machine people. They do not stop. Ever. A winged species. We thought we were predators. We were wrong. Ji-hoon read them quietly. Then he spoke to the room. Send the second message. Soo-min typed. A new broadcast went out. This time it carried images from the archive, not the warnings, the aftermath. Planets cracked open, moons turned to dust, fleets reduced to drifting scrap. And always the same blue-green world in the background, watching, waiting. The message ended with one line in Galactic Standard. We sleep because we choose to. Do not make us dream again. In Seoul, people started to notice. Sirens sounded, but not in panic. Calm voices on radios told everyone to go home. Stay inside. Help neighbors. No running, no fear. In parks, old men folded their chessboards and walked home. Mothers carried children indoors. Shops closed quietly. Above, the alien fleet regrouped. They had lost ships. They had lost pride. But they still had numbers. They still had power. Vexthal stared at Earth. The blue-green ball turned slowly below him. They pretend to sleep, he said, but something is waking. In the command center, Ji-hoon sat down. He looked tired but sure. Soo-min asked, What now? Ji-hoon looked at the screens. Cities, oceans, mountains, people. Now, he said, we show them what happens when the sleep ends. Outside, the night sky over Earth stayed peaceful. Stars shone. The moon hung quiet. But in hidden places, engines hummed. Guns loaded. Minds planned. The dream was turning into a nightmare. For the aliens, the coalition fleet pulled back to the dark side of the moon. Their ships stayed close together, engines idling, weapons hot. Vexthal walked the bridge in slow circles. His crystal body flickered with angry red pulses. They had lost 6 ships now, thousands of soldiers, pride. The humans had not chased them. That made it worse. It felt like pity. They wait, the Zorath Queen Mind said. All her small bodies clicked at the same time. They let us run. Why? The Krell war chief slammed a fist on the console. Metal bent. Because they think we are finished. We are not. We have more ships coming, 3 full battle groups, enough to crack this world open. Vexthal stopped walking. Then we call them now. No more scouts, no more games, full invasion. We land everywhere at once. We burn their fields. We take their leaders. We make them beg. The order went out. Across the galaxy, coalition worlds heard the call. Ships left their docks. In weeks, not years, they would arrive. But the aliens did not want to wait weeks. They wanted victory now. Back on Earth, the underground command center in Daejeon stayed busy. Lights never went off. People worked in shifts. Kim Ji-hoon had not slept more than 2 hours in 3 days. His eyes were red. He drank coffee that tasted like dirt. Park Soo-min sat next to him. She looked calm, but her hands moved fast on the keyboard. Ji-hoon stared at a big screen. It showed the moon. Tiny dots moved, alien ships hiding there. They are calling for help, he said. Soo-min nodded. We picked up the signal. They want everything they have. They are scared. Ji-hoon rubbed his face. Good. Let them be scared. He stood up. Time for the next step. Send the probes. Soo-min typed a command. From hidden launch sites around the world, under mountains, in oceans, inside old mines, small silver probes rose. They looked simple, like metal balls with tiny engines. But inside each one sat a data core, full of videos, full of truth. The probes jumped into faster-than-light jumps. They appeared near alien worlds, not to attack, just to show. Each probe broadcast the same package. Short clips, clear images, no sound at first, just pictures. A dead planet. Craters still smoking. Alien ships broken like toys. A moon split in half. A sun with black scars across its face. And always, in the corner of the frame, a small blue-green dot. Earth, watching. Then the words appeared in Galactic Standard. These are the ones who came before you. They woke us. They paid. Do not wake us. The probe stayed for 1 hour. Then they jumped away. No trace, no attack, just the message. On alien worlds, leaders watched. Some laughed, some got angry, but many went quiet. The images looked real, too real, and the pattern was clear. Every time a species got too close to Earth, that species stopped existing. In the Coalition flagship, Vexthal saw the broadcast too. His officers played it on loop. He smashed a console. Glass flew. Lies, he shouted. Tricks. They want us to fear shadows. But the Krell war chief looked at the floor. I have seen old records. Ships like ours. Gone. Worlds like ours. Gone. Always the same story. Vexthal turned on him. You doubt? The war chief said nothing. The aliens decided to test Earth again, this time on the ground. 10 landing ships dropped fast. They aimed for open land, plains in America, steppes in Russia, fields in Korea. They wanted to set up bases, bring in more troops, show strength. The first ship touched down in Gangwon Province, South Korea. Trees bent as engines roared. Ramps opened. Krell soldiers marched out. Tall, heavy, armor thick. They carried guns that could melt stone. They found farmers. Old men and women working rice fields. The farmers did not run. They stood and watched. One Krell laughed. Soft things, easy to break. He raised his gun. Then the ground moved. Small holes opened, hidden, perfectly covered with dirt and grass. From the holes came thin metal tubes. They fired once. Small darts. Fast. Silent. The darts hit armor joints. Not strong enough to kill, but strong enough to sting. The Krell staggered. More darts came. From trees, from hills, from under the rice plants. Humans had waited there for days. Quiet. Patient. No uniforms. Just normal clothes. Farmers. Hikers. Office workers on vacation. The Krell fired back. Beams cut through trees. Fields burned. But the humans moved. They ran low. They hid. They shot back with rifles that used smart bullets. Bullets that turned corners, found weak spots. One Krell fell. Then another. The rest pulled back to their ship. Engines screamed. But something was wrong. Under the ship, small drones had crawled close during the fight. They attached bombs to the landing legs. The bombs went off together. The ship tilted, fell, crashed, metal twisted. The surviving Krell ran into the woods. They did not get far. More humans waited. Quiet, calm. They used traps, wires, nets, gas that made eyes burn. In 1 hour, the landing was over. No prisoners taken. No mercy asked. Just silence again. The same thing happened everywhere. Bases tried to form. They failed. Cities stayed quiet on the surface. Under them, tunnels moved troops. Subway lines carried weapons. Old mines became forts. In Daejeon, Su Min watched the reports. They are landing less now. They learn slow. Ji-hoon looked at another screen. It showed the archive again. He had found something new. A hidden file. The last one. He opened it. The video was old, grainy. It showed humans, not modern humans, older, wearing strange suits. They stood on a dead world. Around them were ruins, alien ruins, big ships broken, cities gone. A voice spoke, human voice, tired. We almost ended everything. We were angry. We were strong, too strong. So we stopped. We went home. We hid our power. We seeded the archive. We wrote the warnings. We chose to sleep, to forget, to never be the monster again. The camera turned, showed Earth in the distance, blue, green, peaceful. But if they come, if they force us, we will wake, and the galaxy will remember why it fears us. The video ended. Ji-hoon sat back. His face was pale. Sumin looked at him. You knew? Some of it, he said. Not all. He stood up. They are going to hit harder soon. We need to be ready. Outside, night fell over Korea. Lights came on in homes. People ate dinner, watched TV, talked about the sky. Some were afraid. Most were not. The ones who worked in shadows. Above, the alien fleet watched Earth. They saw no panic, no fleets rising, just a world that looked asleep. But the probes kept coming. More messages, more warnings. And somewhere far away, the coalition's extra ships moved closer. Faster now, angry now. In the command center, Ji-hoon spoke to the room. They think they can break us. They think we will run. They are wrong. He looked at Sumin. Prepare the next phase, the one we hoped we would never use. Sumin nodded. Her fingers moved again. The dream was ending. The nightmare was coming. For everyone. The coalition ships gathered behind the moon like wolves circling a wounded deer. More arrived every hour. Battle groups from distant stars. Hundreds now. Black hulls filled the sky when they moved into view. Vexthal stood on the bridge. His crystal body glowed steady red. No more flickering doubt. Only cold purpose. We end this, he said. No more landings. No more games. We hit their red world, Mars, their little colony there. We glass it, show them what real power looks like. Then we come for Earth. The Zorath Queen Mind agreed. Her voices overlapped. A demonstration. They will break when they see their children burn in space. The Krell war chief smiled with sharp teeth. I will lead the strike myself. The order went out. A strike force of 50 ships broke away. They jumped fast toward Mars. Human colony domes sat on the rusty plains, small green patches under glass. Families, scientists, miners. Just thin shields and a few old guns. The aliens arrived in formation. They fired without warning. Plasma rained down. Domes cracked. Air hissed out. Fires bloomed in the thin atmosphere. Screams filled the comms for a few seconds before silence. On Earth, alarms sounded in every command center. Red lights flashed. Ji-hoon watched the feed from Daejeon. His face went hard. Sumin stood beside him. Her hands stopped moving for the first time. They hit Mars, she said quietly. Ji-hoon nodded once. They crossed the line. He turned to the room. Everyone looked at him. Activate Dream's End, he said. Full protocol. No holding back. Sumin typed the code. Deep under mountains in Korea, Russia, America, and hidden places in the ocean, silos opened. Not missiles. Something older. Something worse. Wormhole disruptors. Weapons humans had taken from alien wrecks long ago. Improved. Hidden. Never used. Until now. The disruptors fired. Not at ships. At space itself. Around the alien strike force over Mars, reality bent. Small black points appeared. They grew fast, swallowed light, pulled ships in. Engines screamed against the pull. Then silence. One by one, the ships vanished. Not exploded, not broken, gone. Like they never were. The coalition fleet felt it. Sensors screamed. Whole sections of space went dark on their maps. Vexthal stared at his screens. What is that? An officer answered in a small voice. Singularities. Controlled. They opened holes in space. Our ships fell through. Vexthal's glow dimmed. How many? All 50, the officer said. No survivors. The bridge went quiet. On Earth, the Seoul Dawn moved again. Captain Lee Ha-yeon stood on her bridge. Her ship looked battered now, scars from the first fight. But the engines burned bright. She opened a channel to the galaxy. Every frequency, every world. This is Earth, she said. You were told, many times. You chose not to listen. You attacked our people on Mars. Children, families. Now you see what happens when we stop pretending. The screen showed the empty space over Mars. No wreckage, just nothing. Ha-Yon continued. We have more, much more. We have held it back for centuries. Mercy, restraint. We do not want to be monsters, but you force our hand. She paused. Leave our system, now. Take your remaining ships, go home. Pay for what you took. Never come back, or we finish what we started. The message ended. In the Coalition fleet, panic spread. Zorath bodies shook. Krell soldiers gripped their weapons too tight. Vexthal tried to shout orders. His voice cracked. Some ships turned to run. Others stayed. Loyal. Stupid. Then the probes returned. More of them. This time they carried new images. Live feeds. Alien homeworlds. Cities. Families. The same way humans had families on Mars. The message was short. We know where you live. We have always known. We chose not to look. Now we look. No threat of attack. Just the knowledge. Humans could reach them. Any time. Any place. Defectors appeared. First one Zorath hive ship. It sent a signal. We surrender. We speak for part of the mind. We want peace. Then a Krell cruiser. We follow no more. Vexthal is mad. Even some Vexari ships turned away. Vexthal screamed at them. Traitors. Cowards. But the fleet broke. Ships jumped out, one after another, leaving the flagship alone. Vexthal stood on an empty bridge. His officers gone. His glow weak. He opened a channel to Earth. His voice shook. What do you want? He asked. Ji-Hoon answered. His face appeared on the screen. Calm. Tired. Terms, Ji-Hoon said. You leave our space. All of it. You give back what you took from other worlds. You destroy your invasion records. You tell the galaxy the truth. Earth sleeps because we let it sleep. Disturb us again, and we do not sleep. Vexthal stared. Ji-Hoon continued. And reparations, technology, knowledge, you will share what you have, to rebuild what you broke, including Mars. Vexthal looked down. His crystal cracked in thin lines. We accept, he said. The flagship turned, slow. It jumped away. Earth stayed quiet. In Daejeon, Sumin leaned back. It's over? Ji-Hoon shook his head. For now. He looked at the screens, the galaxy map, dots moving away, far away. Taewoo walked in, the young engineer. He carried coffee for everyone. His hands shook a little. We did it, he said. Ji-Hoon took the cup. We survived. Ha-Yon appeared on a screen from her ship. The fleet is gone. Space is clear. Ji-Hoon nodded. Good work, Captain. She smiled small. We held back. Even at the end. Ji-Hoon looked out a small window. Stars. Peaceful. We always try to, he said. Days passed. Earth cleaned up. Wreckage pulled from orbit. People came out of shelters. Life returned. Slow. Normal. Mars got help. New domes. New air. Humans rebuilt. In Seoul, Ji-Hoon walked the streets. Normal clothes. No uniform. He bought street food. Watched kids play. The city sounded alive again. Sumin met him at a park. They sat on a bench. People are asking questions, she said. About the archive. About us. Ji-Hoon nodded. Let them ask. Some truths stay hidden. Some come out. He looked up at the sky. Blue, clear. We did not want this, he said. But we did what we had to. Sumin took his hand. And now? Now we go back to sleep, he said, until the next time someone forgets the warning. They sat in silence. The sun set. Lights came on. Somewhere, the archive on the dead moon updated itself. A new tablet floated into place. Words carved fresh. Another species came. They woke the sleepers. They paid. Earth only pretends to sleep. Do not test the dream. The galaxy heard. Most listened. Some did not. But for now, the blue-green world turned slow, quiet, peaceful, pretending once more. Years passed after the coalition left. The sky over Earth stayed clear. No more black ships, no more cold voices from space. People returned to normal days. They worked, they laughed, they argued about small things again. The big fear faded like a bad dream. In Seoul, spring came warm. Cherry blossoms covered the streets in pink. Kim Ji-hoon walked through a small park near his old apartment. He wore a plain jacket and carried a paper cup of coffee. His hair had more gray now. Lines around his eyes were deeper. But he walked easy. No hurry. He stopped at a bench, sat down, looked up at the sky. Blue, quiet, stars hidden in daylight. A woman sat beside him, Park Soo-min. She looked the same. Still calm eyes, still quick hands, but she smiled more now. They had married 2 years after the war. Quiet ceremony, only friends, no big party. She handed him a small box. "Happy anniversary," she said. He opened it. Inside was a tiny model telescope, like the one he used on his balcony years ago. Ji-hoon laughed soft. "You kept it." "I fixed it," she said. "Thought you might want to look at stars again, without worry." He turned the model in his hands. "I look sometimes, just for fun now." They sat quiet for a while. Children played nearby, ran with kites, laughed loud. Soo-min spoke first. "Do you ever think about it? The archive, the warnings?" Ji-hoon nodded slow. "Every day. But not like before. Not afraid. Just careful." He looked at her. "We almost became the thing we feared, the monster in the stories." "But we didn't," she said. "We stopped. We chose." Ji-hoon took her hand. "We chose, and we keep choosing." Far away, in the countryside near Busan, Min-suk lived alone in a small house by the sea. He was older now, strong still, but slower. He fished every morning, sat on the rocks with his rod, watched waves. The war felt like another life. One day a young man came to visit. Tae-woo, the engineer. Still young face, still bright eyes. He brought beer and sat beside Min-suk. "You still fish here?" Tae-woo asked. "Every day," Min-suk said. "Better than fighting." Tae-woo laughed. "I teach now. Kids in school. I show them stars. Tell them we are small, but strong when we need to be." Min-suk looked at the water. "You tell them the truth?" "Some," Tae-woo said. "Enough. They know we sleep for a reason." Min-suk nodded. "Good. Let them grow up peaceful. Let them forget a little." Above them, the Seoul Dawn floated in high orbit. Not hidden anymore, painted white now. A museum ship. Captain Lee Ha-yeon retired from command. She visited schools, told stories, not about battles, about choices, about mercy. "Power is easy," she said to children. "Restraint is hard. We chose hard." The kids listened, some wide-eyed, some bored. But they listened. On the dead moon, the archive waited. New tablets appeared over time. Not many, just enough. Each one told the same story. A species tried to test Earth again. Small scout, curious, arrogant. They left fast after one warning shot. No blood, just a lesson. Another tried trade, fair trade. They came polite. Earth answered polite. Deals made, trust built slow. But the main warning stayed the same, carved fresh at the top. Earth only pretends to sleep. Do not test the dream again. The galaxy learned. Most stayed away. Some watched from far, quiet, respectful. One night, Ji-hoon set up his old telescope on the balcony. Soo-min stood beside him. They looked at the stars together. "See that?" Ji-hoon pointed. "Orion, same as always." Soo-min leaned close. "Still beautiful." He lowered the scope, looked at her. We did good, didn't we? She smiled. We did what we could, and we stopped when we could. Ji-hoon looked back at the sky. I hope they remember, the ones who come after. They will, she said, or we remind them. Quiet, like always. They stayed on the balcony until late. City lights glowed below. Cars moved. People lived. In a school far away, a teacher showed a star map. A boy raised his hand. Sir, he said, is Earth really dangerous? The teacher smiled small. Earth is peaceful, kind, full of people who want to live quiet lives. The boy waited. But, the teacher added, if you push too hard, if you forget respect, then yes, Earth wakes up, and the stars remember why they stay quiet around us. The boy nodded, serious. The teacher closed the book. Now go home, hug your family, live well. The boy ran out, happy, safe. On Earth, nights stayed peaceful. People dreamed normal dreams, of love, of work, of tomorrow. But under it all, something waited. Patient. Old. Ready. Not angry. Not cruel. Just there. In case. Ji-hoon and Soo-min went inside, closed the door, turned off the lights. The city slept. The world slept. Earth pretended to sleep. And the galaxy listened. Because some warnings never fade.